Good morning, lovely beings. It is another beautiful fucking day here. Looking this moment sitting on my palazzo patio in paradise, just drinking in the amazing, drinking in the opportunities. You know, when we create a space for ourselves to allow ourselves to show up outside of the confines of our ego, when we make a space for ourselves, it is incredible what that creates. So again, when we talk about boundaries, boundaries are the gentle lines that you walk. You don't build a wall and declare, look, I have a boundary. Though sometimes, maybe that is some people's experience. But from my perspective, and I'll reiterate, luckily in my life I've known some really wonderful people who have taught me some really amazing things. And one of those things, so Ram Dass, super famous, Be Here Now, badassian, did a huge, wonderful impact on the world. Less famous book, How Can I Help, is an unbelievable handbook for people who are of service, for healers and people who serve their community in these capacities. And it's really about personal boundaries, where and how we can help. It negotiates the lines of things like idiot compassion, which we've touched on before, which is the lack of understanding of sovereignty and the masterfulness of every other being around us, and the condescending nature of that compassion can be entirely self-serving ego at times, and where and how those boundaries are drawn. Well, so friends of mine, my friend Katie Duncan, grew up on a beautiful piece of land, a large piece of land that his borders shared, their land shared a bunch of monks and Tibetan people that the us had created a sanctuary for a huge fire that went through that community. And once again, here is a powerhouse place. Here is a place charged with an unbelievable amount of energy, all sorts of powerful beings there meditating, gathering. And there, when the huge fire went through that forest, it destroyed and decimated many of the houses on that land, many of the buildings that they had built to house the community, and hundreds of acres of other people's properties and homes. It was had a huge and long-lasting impact on the community. My friend's father, so they had 4 or 5 children in their family, all raised in this beautiful piece of piece of land in the mountains. And her father, every day, people with children, parents may understand the joys of having a walk, the joys of having a kind, peaceful walk to do every day. So every day he walked the border of the property, just a quiet walk. Not bushwhacking, not building fences, just quiet, meditative contemplation and connection with the land that they were on. And every day he walked this border. For decades. Every day that he was on that land, he walked that border. So you notice it wasn't an absolute. It wasn't like, every day at 3:15 a.m. he walked for... No. When he was there, that was his space, his own quiet time that he took for himself. It was not dramatic. It was not some ancient text that he was following with. It was his own heart and well-being. the fire stopped there. The fire never jumped over that path. And this is how boundaries work. The small, consistent, gentle decisions that you make about how and where you're going to walk, how and where and why you're going to listen to yourself, are incredibly impactful and incredibly powerful. And so, walk in grace. Be thankful. You're way more powerful than you know. The impact that your own choice, moment-to-moment choice in sanity, moment-to-moment choice to engage in the opportunities of your own well-being and care are, hello Kelly, good morning, are incredibly powerful and impactful. They're powerful and impactful to your well-being as you create the field of how you interact with the world around you. And they're impactful to the beings in your life as your boundaries are an amazing example, an amazing container. I love that. This is my friend Tamara said last night. Yes, the boundaries become a container that encompasses the energy, that allows you to concentrate and focus your energy within that, because we literally are everything. Literally, that's actual. And so when we expand our consciousness to be everything, we literally are that. And that's a really wonderful place to visit. It's an aspect, an important paradox to have in our conceptual understanding, in our heart, in lots of different ways of approaching the world. Simultaneously, the understanding that this is the space that I am working in. I am literally everything. I constructed this awesome human experience with this human body, with these human constructs, to have this human experience. So, the quiet power of gently and constantly walking and expressing your boundaries through the day. The choice with every step to remember that this is your experience, this is your ride, this is your custom-made, incredible, universal conspiracy to bring out your amazing and experience your awesome. And allows you, your boundaries allow you, your boundaries allow you to truly be in that experience with all the energy that you have put into creating your life and choices. Allow you create your own safe space within that. And so let's also look at some of the other dynamics around that, being that we create our own safe space and we can also create our own othering. You know? In this process of disentangling the life-saving fears they were life-saving for me again, 14 years of being afraid to hug, kiss, dance, walk down the street, touch things. Those kept me alive in the period of my anaphylaxis to wheat, right? Those protections, those fears kept me alive. And now, the moment of the joy of the realization that I get to eat a churro. I can't even tell you. I haven't had one yet. Maybe I'll do that today. You know, I get to walk into a place. I get to not worry. I get to go into a restaurant and not ask any questions. I can't even tell you what that is like. Oh my gosh. And I would like for you to join me there again. I would like for you to remember what your experience of life was. before you were afraid of everything. Because when you literally are everything, and when you're afraid of all that's out there, you're afraid of aspects of your own self. Is that a useful, a joyous thing? Is that the way that you want to live your life? And the reinforcement and righteousness that comes, because again, I was right. The fears were real things. They were important. They kept me alive. But now they are not anymore. The fire is gone. The boundaries are there. My vehicle, my vessel is intact. The boundaries are still there. The fire has passed. And now I can enjoy my walk in grace without feeling the fire breathing down my neck. I don't have to worry about my boundaries holding me safe because I have come to a new place. I have come to a new place. And don't need to be other anymore. And my ego amazingly really identified with the otherness. So we sit and have talks all the time. You know? Maybe it's time for you to sit down with these concepts of other, with these concepts of them and us. Maybe it's time to remember that the rules kept you safe, that the moments have passed. Maybe it's time to take off the goggles, remove the lenses from your eyes, allow yourself to see what life is really offering you now. Allow yourself to see the potentials of a world where everything is changing. And this is our world. It belongs to us. It is our creation. And every day we walk the boundaries, we walk the behaviors that are creating this world. What kind of world are we creating, my friends? What kind of world are you creating? It is the Sacha Yuga, new stuff, it's time to make new things. Ooh, ooh, ooh. New things. Alright, I love you guys. Go forth and be fucking brilliant. Go forth and shine your awesome, shine your light. Walk your grace. Walk your incredibleness. Celebrate the survival. And then remember that life is not about surviving. Life is about living. It's about thriving. And let's see how our footsteps take us to that place. So wax your surfboard with trust. Wax your surfboard with the understanding that you have not just the ability, but the responsibility to transcend your fears, because there's an entirely new potential of world here. And the fires have passed, my friend. You're not walking on embers. Love you.